The Vinny D Show.
And we're live. Matt Connors. What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Not too much. So I know we had talked about putting this together. So for those of you that just saw me and Matt do a show together, this is going to be a little bit different. This is going to be pretty much just focused on the NFL games that are coming up and kind of where we sit on them, what we think about them, what we saw the previous week, what we see in the week coming up. And then we're going to talk on the betting side of it for most part. We're going to talk about looking at the lines. Matt's done a lot of research and getting going on this side of stuff. So he's going to talk about the games he's going to play, he likes, and the games if he had to pick, like the pick 'em that we're in, where you have to pick every game, where he leans on those. So,
Yep.
But I think I speak for both of us. It's exciting to have NFL football back.
Super exciting. I can't tell you how excited I was for week one. And, just being able to watch it on television was crazy. Glad I wasn't watching Central Arkansas again for the second time in 2 weeks. So that was nice.
I know, yeah, those weird little college games get annoying. All right, well, so I guess just kind of to sum up week one, I mean, did anything from either a betting side or just a watching side kind of jump out of you? I know it's too early to really create a trend, but there were some big favorites that lost. There were some closer games than I thought were going to happen, and there were some games that got really far away, like the Baltimore-Cleveland game. I mean, what was kind of your biggest takeaway from week one?
Yeah, a couple of takeaways. I think the Jets are the worst team in the league. I took the Bills. I know you're a Jet fan, so
Yes.
I know you appreciate that. But I was on the Bills instantly, and then in that first quarter, you could just tell that the Jets were outmanned, and I think they could be outmanned for a while now. I was heavy on the Rams, who I thought played a great game. I think people think they're going to be good. I think they're going to be really, really good. And then lastly, the Eagles. I mean, everyone was on the Eagles, but they have injury woes again for the third straight year. And I think that's really going to hurt them. Disappointing for them, but losing to Washington is always tough. But
yeah, well, you as a Giant fan, I don't think you're too tore up about it.
Well, it's cool. I mean, whoever I'm on, I'm rooting for, right? So
That's true. But
I think they were a disappointment for sure. Those three things really, really stuck out to me. I mean, the Jaguars winning, Jacksonville was impressive. But those were the four main points that stood out.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, the one thing I guess to add to that stood out to me was the way Baltimore was able to separate from Cleveland. I know Cleveland's not that great. They have a nice roster on paper, but 38-6 is a big gap.
Yeah, and I was on Cleveland. I took them, and that was a killing out there. It wasn't even close either.
Yeah,
Baker
but at least you could stop paying attention close to halftime. So you
didn't have to exactly.
So I guess right away talking about Cleveland. So Cleveland is playing the Bengals tomorrow night. I mean, we're doing this Wednesday night, so tomorrow night, Thursday night. That line right now is Cleveland -6, at least on the ESPN app. That's what I'm going to use the lines on. Mm-hmm. Is that a play for you? Is it a lean for you? Where are you at on that?
It's not going to be a play for me. I mean, Joe Burrow played pretty well, honestly, for his first game. I mean, he seemed pretty poised. He had that last second throw in the end zone. If it wasn't an offensive PI, they win that ball game.
Yep.
So, I mean, I like Cincinnati, but I also think Cleveland's going to bounce back here. But it's definitely a no play for me, for sure. I'm not playing. I'm not playing on Joe Burrow, or their coaching's horrible, and he's a new starter. So I don't think I'll be playing them in the next couple of weeks even. No play for me on that one.
I think the Bengals are actually going to be a team that should be faded as we go longer in the season. With no preseason, there's no tape on Burrow yet, so teams are just kind of coming up. I think he'll get worse as the season goes, and then maybe year two he'll bounce back. All right, so jumping to Sunday, I know you had mentioned this was a game you couldn't wait to pull the trigger on. The Jets against the Niners at the Jets. That line right now is San Francisco -7, so it hasn't moved another point. So go ahead and talk about that game.
Yeah, I'm big on the Niners. It's going to be a 2-unit play for me, and I think the Jets are just a bad football team. Le'Veon Bell is now out, which doesn't help them. I know San Francisco, traveling from the West Coast to the East Coast, I know it's not easy in a normal season, but I just think they bounce back from that loss to Arizona. They're poised. I think they win by 20 plus. Without a doubt, they're angry. They didn't want to lose that game, and I think the Jets it's gonna get taken out on them for sure.
Yeah, and one of the other things I was reading about, which was interesting, because that division is so good, and I mean, I don't think Arizona is going to be a contender, but they are 1-0, and they'll probably give a lot of teams a lot of fight this year. The thought of being San Francisco and being in a division where you could be 2 games back after week 2 to teams you have to play the rest of the year, I think I don't necessarily call week 2 a must win, but I think they'll be very motivated. So
they're going to have a sense of urgency. That's for sure, and I'm playing that. That's going to be my best bet. I don't know if I'm going to take them in my survivor pool because it's it's West Coast to East Coast and on the road and all that stuff. But definitely playing that 6.5 though for sure.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that one. All right, so next game up, a game that means something in my household because of where I live, the Ravens and Texans. Right now, the Ravens are -7 at home. I'm sorry, they are on the road. They are at the Texans, so they are on the road -7. Where is that a play? Lean? Where you at?
It's going to be a no play for me. If I had to play it, I would play Baltimore. I think they're just a freight train right now. But I do like the total of 51.5. I do like that over. I think there's gonna be a lot of scoring, back and forth type of game. I could even see 34-27, 34-30, something like that. But it's gonna be no play for me. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, if I had to play it again, I actually would play the Texans outside of a touchdown, just because I feel like it'll be one of those games where they could be down 10 or even 14 with a minute and a half left, and the Texans do a really good job of scoring those kind of garbage touchdowns to make it look close on paper, and they have the offense to do that. So, but it could get out of hand. It sure could. So I could see that game being a one-score game or another 38.
Right, and that's exactly.
That's a scary one. All right, so a game that's close to your heart, Giants-Bears. Giants are at the Bears, and the Bears are 5.5-point favorites there.
Yep, I really like the Giants here. I found a trend that I thought was crazy. Teams that have huge fourth quarter comebacks, like the Bears did last week, if they're coming back as home favorites versus a team off of a loss. So the Giants are off of a loss. They're 1-14 at the spread. So
wow.
I will be riding that for sure this week. Love the Giants here. That's also going to be a 2-unit play for me. I just don't think the Bears are any good. I really don't.
Offensively, they're bad. They're a bad football team offensively. Defensively, they're okay, but I don't think they're going to be in a lot of great situations.
For sure. If Daniel Jones can, hang on to the ball and not turn it over, I think they win this game, to be honest with you. So I would sprinkle a little on that plus 210 money line for sure.
Yeah, it's a good play. I mean, if I had to play the game, I'd probably play the Giants as well, just because I wouldn't play the Bears outside of a field goal on almost anybody in any game. I don't think they're that good of a team. All right, interesting game. So Falcons-Cowboys. So both teams come off a loss week 1. I think the Cowboys actually looked okay. I thought they played, they played a better team than who the Falcons went up against. But where are you at on that? That game is at Dallas, and it's right now it's -4. Seems a little close to me. And I guess I want to make a caveat here. Are you seeing the 3-point home favorite thing still as relevant as it's been in the past? Is it still a good barometer to think the home team at 3, anything greater is what you're really playing?
Yeah, I mean, week 1's hard to tell. We'll be able to see that trend, more prevalent in the next coming weeks after we have a bigger sample size. But I think, the travel is different. I mean, there's no fans for sure, but the travel is a little more stressful, right? I mean, you're going to get on an airplane. You're going to, worry about all that stuff, the COVID restrictions at your hotel. You can't go out to eat, you go to your restaurant, whatever it may be. I think it could balance out. We'll see more, as we go, for sure. I mean, should be interesting, but this is going to be a no play for me. But if I had to pick, I would pick Dallas. I'm high on Dallas. I have futures on them over 10 wins. I think they ran into a Rams team who is very, very good, and they another offensive PI call, and that game's headed to overtime. So I like the Cowboys here. Again, up and down game. I feel like they're just going to be up and down that field. So the 52.5 is in play, but I'm not going to play this game. It's just too many variances for me.
Yeah, I'd love to see it down, a hook or at least another point. I'd love to see that game at 3 points, but it's not. I would still probably take Dallas like you. I think they're just a better football team on a neutral field
Right.
for sure, especially at home.
Yeah.
And I think they'll bounce back. I think they'll be a little motivated. And plus, I like your over 10 wins because that division is not the hardest
Yeah.
division to win, so they should get 4 or 5 wins there.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, so then going on to the next game, Lions-Packers. Game is at Green Bay. Green Bay -6.
Yeah, I like the Lions here at +6. I think they're going to have a good season. Even though they lost last week, I like them at +6. Rodgers, I think, just came out in week 1 and wanted to prove, that he, after the Packers drafting the quarterback, in the draft, and I just think he wanted to prove and that he was still number 1, and he did that. I mean, he had a great game, but I like the Lions here. They're used to playing in Green Bay, so no fans, advantage Lions. They know how to play on that surface. So, I like the Lions here +6. It's going to be 1 unit for me.
Yeah, I don't really have a feeling either way. What I will tell you is I don't care what the over is. I think I'd play it because if you really look at it, most of Green Bay scoring last week, in the first 20 minutes, they were non-existent offensively. And then they throw up 40 points in basically 40 minutes. And Detroit can run it up too. And I did hear some interesting stuff on Detroit talking about Matthew Stafford, with new offensive coordinators and new coaches and all that. Before he got hurt last year, he was on pace, or they were on pace to have the number 3 offense. And I believe it was the number 1 offensive passing offense. So another year in that system, another year, I like the over in that game. Jaguars Titans at Tennessee. Tennessee is 9-point favorites. Where are you at there?
Yeah, I mean, interesting game, right? I mean, Jacksonville's coming off a huge win where no one expected them to win. Tennessee, they played well. Their kicker should have had, cost them 10 points.
Yep.
For sure. But, if I had to play it, I'd play Jacksonville. But this is going to be a no play. I think that Minshew is underrated. I think he's a good player. I think they're all playing with a chip on their shoulder. They think they're just going to pack it in this year. But, they're going to play hard. So I would play it if I had to, but it's definitely no play for me.
Yeah, it's a lot of points for a team that doesn't throw up a lot of points. And that to me seems like a lot.
Right. Tennessee can grind that game out and still not cover.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they can win, 14-9 and then they demolish them, but
and control the whole game. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, right. I think I haven't looked at the under on that game. You may have to tease it to get it at a number over 30, but it's
42.5 right now.
Yeah, in the 40s, I may like it. I may think it's a good thing. Maybe I'm overstretching there. Vikings Colts. Vikings are at the Colts. Indianapolis -3.
Yeah, I mean, Indy, by the eye test, had a stinker last week. If you look at the score, you're like, oh wow, the Colts are going to have a bad year. You know what? They put up 450 yards of offense. I think that they're going to win this game. I'm going to play 1 unit on the Colts. I think they bounce back. I think Rivers and company are going to throw that ball around the field, and I think Minnesota, although they have a great coach and Zimmer, I think that they're down this year and they have injuries, and I like Indy here -3.
Yeah, I don't dislike that play at all. The only thing I was really questioning with the Vikings going into the 2-minute drill in the first half of that game, Kirk Cousins had 4 passing attempts. Right. And the 2 completions that he had were on the opening drive to Adam Thielen. So I just question how much they're going to try and live off of Dalvin Cook. And I think in games like this where, are the Colts the best offense in the world? No. But they can still run around and they can still put up points. And I think if they do, I don't know how well Minnesota is going to play from behind. I mean, last week, they put numbers up, but Green Bay is not beating anybody on the defensive side of the ball.
Sure.
Indy's a little bit better on defense, actually very, very good on defense. They may be the most underrated defensive team. I agree with you. And I think if it gets out of hand, it can stay out of hand. I don't know if it will, but my thing is I think Indianapolis can definitely control this game.
Yeah.
A game a couple years ago that would have been a stinker, but now actually looks like it could be good, is Bills-Dolphins.
Sure.
The game is on the road at Miami, and Buffalo, what I'm seeing is -5.5.
Yeah, I'm seeing some sixes at some different shops. I mean, I like Miami here. I really do. Josh Allen didn't play a great game. I don't think he's good. I don't think he's a good quarterback right now. His legs are a problem for defenses, but he makes some poor decisions. His arm strength, all of those things. That just shows you how bad the Jets are. To be honest. But I like the Dolphins here. I'm playing that for a unit. I think they can win this game. I don't. People are all over Buffalo, all on Twitter. They love Buffalo this week again. I don't see it. I like Miami +6.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably on the other side of this if I had to play it, only because I just feel like Miami's offense is dismal. And I feel like Fitzpatrick is the guy. Of course, we've all seen him throw 4 or 5 touchdowns in a game, but I think at this age and the lack of talent around him, I think he's going to be more prone to more turnovers.
Yeah.
I think you may see Tua before the midseason, just depending on how his grasp of the playbook is.
Sure.
But until then, I wouldn't bet anything on them, and I don't think they're going to run away with any game. And Buffalo can score quick. They're not great. The Jets made them look like they should win a Super Bowl, which is scary. But yeah, if I had to pick, I'm probably on the other side. But it's definitely a game.
Fitz threw 3 picks last week. I think he's going to make the adjustments. We'll see. But Buffalo's defense is tremendous. So, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, he can make the adjustments for my +6 here.
Yeah, for sure. Or just keep it close. Just keep it close.
Yeah.
All right, this game is interesting. So Rams at the Eagles, another West Coast East Coast game. Home for Philly, they are 1-point favorites. So in essence, a coin toss, right?
Yeah. So this line opened Eagles -3. And it's down at, and I'm seeing at a pick 'em too, which a 3-point swing in 2.5 days is a big swing. The Eagles are riddled with injuries. Their line has 3 of their 5 players out. They're playing with practice squad players. So I think the offensive line, and I think Donald and company are going to get to him. I like the Rams here. I'm playing them for a unit. I'm not going, too big because I think the line's fishy, to be honest. But Rams are the better team. I'll take them. If they lose, they lose. But I trust the Rams here for sure.
Yeah, this would actually be one of the games where I would keep a really heavy eye on the line from maybe 11:30 to 12:30 Eastern. Because I would love to see what the Vegas money does to that line right before the kickoff. Because if the line continues to move, I'd be all over the Rams. But if that line pushes back toward the Eagles, that means Vegas money's coming in on Philly, and they know something we don't. So that would be the only thing I'd try to keep an eye on if I could. But yeah, I agree. To me, looking at it, it's very fishy. I'd be all over the Rams just based on the eye test and just based on the team, kind of construction.
Yeah, and that's why I'm only going to play it for a unit because I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, it's 2 teams going opposite directions right now. And the total's 45.5. I could see the Rams winning, 20-7. I don't even know. I don't even, the Eagles score, are going to struggle to score even. So,
yeah,
that's another play in play there.
And I know our friend Jamie said it, but I think Carson Wentz as well is a questionable at best quarterback. I think he's a middle-of-the-road guy that they tout as much better than that.
Yeah, I think his true colors are coming out for sure.
Oh, yeah. All right, so next game, Broncos Steelers at Pittsburgh -7.5. Now, I only highlight that -7.5 because I don't put the Giants and the Broncos necessarily too far from each other as far as, overall talent and their roster setup. And that's a 2-point different favorite for Pittsburgh. And I didn't think Pittsburgh blew the doors off the Giants. I think that game was very,
No.
very much, a close game. So
Sure.
for that reason, I'm going to jump ahead of you here. I would take the Broncos outside of a touchdown because I just don't see Pittsburgh blowing out anybody like that, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to pick, I would play the Steelers here only because they're tremendous at home. I know they don't have the home field advantage, but they play tremendous at home. Denver struggled, last week, especially in the red zone. And I think the Steelers can get after the QB here. Again, no play for me. If I had to, I'd play Steelers in our pick 'em. I'm playing Steelers, but
Sure.
it should be interesting to watch. For sure.
Yeah.
I like this game a lot.
It'll be a fun matchup. There's
Yeah,
another one.
yeah.
So this one, I'm very curious about your call on this. So Panthers at Buccaneers. Buccaneers -9.
Yeah, I think this line's way off.
It seems very high based on what you looked at last week.
I love the Panthers here in this case. I mean, they're putting numbers up. On the offensive side of the ball, Brady did not look good. He bounces back, from losses very well, but he just didn't look good. I like the Panthers here +9. I'm playing it for a unit. I may add to it as we go. I haven't checked the line movement yet on that one, but I already placed Panthers +9. I think it's going to be a super close game. I don't see the Bucs running away with anything right now, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm completely with you. I think the Buccaneers win this game. I mean, I could absolutely see that why it's favored that way. But almost a 2-score game, or it is a 2-score game. But that seems a little high for me. I think the thing with Brady not having all the timing down with all of his guys, and that's just lack of practice, lack of games, lack of touches. I don't think it bounces back in 1 week to where he goes back to looking like Super Bowl MVP Tom Brady. I think you're somewhere in between. I don't think he's going to be as bad as he was last week all season long, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I'm just hoping the Brady era is over. But I don't.
When he threw that pick six, it was like Jameis all over again.
Yeah, I mean, you think about that. He threw, that's the first
horrible pass.
That was the first multi-interception game he's had in I think it was 20+ starts. He did it quickly, so.
Yeah.
I question that one. All right, 2 teams that probably didn't expect to be 1-0, or we didn't expect to be 1-0 going into this week, the Washington football team and the Arizona Cardinals. The game's at Arizona, and Arizona -6.5.
Yeah, I mean, I like Arizona here. The -6.5. I don't think Haskins is a good quarterback. I just don't see it.
Yeah.
He played well in the second half. I'll give him the credit. They bounced back. They were down big in the first half. I like Arizona here. I think they're clicking on offense. Washington has a good D, but I think Arizona can run away with this one. I don't see Washington coming back. I think they're going to be down early, and I just don't see it happening here. I like the 6.5. I'm playing that for a unit.
So the only thing I do like about Haskins, or I guess this matchup against Haskins, is Arizona can get pressure on the quarterback with blitzing, especially that they do like to send their linebackers. But the thing is, Haskins is not a guy that really is going to sit there yet in his career and throw the ball 40, 50, 60 yards downfield, right? That's why you see a guy like Logan Thomas get all these targets, because he is looking to be safe. He's looking to get rid of the ball quickly. I'm interested to see if Arizona plays a lot of man and forces a lot of those plays, or if they decide to sit back and see if Haskins can beat them. If they sit back, I actually think they'll blow them out, because I don't think Haskins can pick them apart. But if they give a lot of one-on-one matchups, I do think they have a chance to at least keep it close. But I do agree, Arizona's the winner of this. I don't know if they'll cover the 6.5, 7, but I do like them on that side. All right, getting later in the day. Chiefs-Chargers. So Chiefs are at the Chargers. No fans, so no different for any other Chargers home game. Chiefs -9 points.
Yeah, I'm seeing 8.5 in some shops. I like the Chiefs here. I think the Chargers I don't think they're a good team at all. Tyrod Taylor just struggled last week. I was on the Chargers. I was fortunate to get the push in that game. They should have lost that game. Taylor did not look good, although I was high on him early, entering the season. But after watching him play, I think he's going to struggle this week. I think Mahomes and the Chiefs are going to throw all over this team. I see them winning by 20+. So I'm playing this 2 units. and I never play the Chiefs. So I really like it 8.5. I would be very surprised if they kept it, one touchdown game. I would be very surprised.
That's the thing. Even watching the opening game against the Texans, the Chiefs didn't look that great on offense. They looked kind of mechanical. They were kind of going about it piece by piece. I think once they kind of hit a rhythm, they're going to really blow it out. And I don't think the Chargers are the kind of team that can stick with them. So they may give up some points. It may be a higher scoring game early on, maybe some back and forth, maybe some mistakes happen. But I think that once they put the throttle down, they can run away in a hurry. So I'm completely with you. I would give the Chiefs anything up to double digits.
For sure.
Patriots Seahawks. This game is at Seattle, and it is -3.5 is what I'm seeing. Where are you at there?
I love Seattle here. I think I think Cam played well. But I don't think they're going to win this game. I don't think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a 10-point win, for Seattle. Russell Wilson and crew, they just played so well last week. I think they're clicking. They look like midseason form, on offense. And, I think they win this game handily. The Patriots have the name as the Patriots, which I think, I think money might even pour in on the Pats where you can even get a better line. If you can get that at -3, I mean, that would be fantastic. But I like the Seahawks here. I'm playing them for 1 unit. I may add to it again, depending on the line movement. But I like Seattle here. New England traveling across country to Seattle, even with no fans, it's a tough one. So I love them here.
Oh yeah, I mean, again, this is one of those games where, if I had to play it, I think I lean Seattle as well. I definitely lean on the under. And here's why. New England didn't look great on offense, and Cam running horizontally is not going to work against great defenses, right? Miami's defense is subpar, if not average. Seattle's a little bit better. And you're not going to be able to just kind of dink and dunk. You got to be able to take some shots against them, and I don't know if they're there yet. I don't know if Cam's there yet, with that offense. Now, I will also say, too, that the Patriots defense is much better than the Falcons defense. So I think what you'll get is a lower scoring game. But I do agree this could easily be a 24-10, 24-13, something like that. Keep it at double digits, but still hit the low, but still hit up to the under.
I see Cam struggle in this game. But I see that happening.
Yeah, I mean, and it could be one of those games where, a motivated Cam Newton is a scary thing. So I'm just curious, how that comes week to week. But we'll see. I mean, the playbook seemed very, very small. Week
very
one.
limited.
So
very
if they
limited.
open it up for him a little bit, but even that, I still question the talent. We all know Edelman can play, and Kill Harry's good, but it's guys that have, flash of genius. They're not necessarily consistent with it.
If Cam has to sling that ball around the field, more than 25 times, they're in trouble. So,
for sure.
And that's the thing. If they get down early and they have to throw the ball, I think they're going to be in trouble there.
Yeah, they have to keep this game within a touchdown throughout in order to be in it. If they get by, I don't think they're climbing anybody this year.
Sure.
And then the last game, Monday Night Football, the Saints are at the Raiders. And actually, caveat, my buddy Ralph that I did a show with a couple weeks ago, huge Saints fan, he was talking about how this game him and his wife were supposed to go to, and what a game that would have been to see them open up that Vegas stadium with the Saints. It would have been a great place.
I'm sure that was a trip for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's got to be an awesome game to watch. But we don't have fans, so we'll all watch it on TV. Right now, New Orleans is -6 on ESPN. I don't know if you're seeing something different on the books, but to me, just looking at it highly, it looks high to be a road team like that, to give 6 points against a team that actually looked pretty good in Oakland week one. Where are you at on that one?
Yeah, I mean, the Raiders' offense looked very good. Their defense is not good.
Right.
And that scares me because, when you have Drew Brees and company, up and down the field, I mean, they could put up 35 points themselves here. So, I like the Saints, but I'm not going to play it just because, home opener, I think, the adrenaline's going to be flowing. I know there's no fans, but, new stadium, they want to have a good game for that. total's 49.5. I like the over here. I mean, it seems low to me, actually. I think it should be like 52, 53. That's what I pinned it at, before I saw the lines. But 49.5, I mean, Raiders defense is bad. Saints can score, and the Raiders offense looked good last week. So to a couple of those three things, I'm definitely playing the over. I don't know for how much, but I'll be playing it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I even like the over in the first half, thinking some adrenaline coming in there. I mean, I don't think they'll be mistake ridden. I think it'll be maybe a little more excitement. So I think that could give them a little juice.
Sure. And, if they were
early on.
playing any other team other than the Saints that had Drew Brees, I think that, I think they could, pull this one out. But, Brees has been through everything. Played everywhere in big games. I mean, this is nothing for him. So he won't even be fazed by it. So, yeah, I mean, I like the over. If I had to pick, it'd be Saints.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think I do think they can win. If that game was outside of 7, of course, though, I'd be on Oakland. I think they can go tit for tat, but they're going to be behind trying to catch back up.
Yeah, I agree.
But that's week 2, my man. I mean, anything else stick out to you looking at week 1 or in the future? I mean, anything you should keep an eye on, especially if someone maybe is new to betting. Anything you should try to look at this week to take a look at?
Yeah, I mean, teams that are 0-1, I like betting on. So that's something to look for. No one wants to drop to 0-2. So I always look for that, especially 1-0 versus 0-1. I like to play the team that lost week 1 because they look to make the adjustments and full week of practice, etc. But other than that, we should always say you should play responsibly. No matter what, especially early on in the year. I mean, you really don't know who these teams are yet. You have an idea, but 1-2 units for me only. I haven't even bumped anything to 3 units yet. So,
Sure.
That's my advice for week 2.
Awesome, man. Well, look, this was fun. We'll do it again next week, and we'll check back with it. Again, money management, number one thing when it comes to betting. So everyone bet safely, have fun. But Matt, love it, man. Appreciate it, and we'll do this again next week.
Absolutely. Yeah, give the video a like. And I mean, if you have any comments, reach out to Vinny or myself and we'll get back to you for sure. And hopefully we can continue this for the rest of the year and, for future years to come. It's fun. I think we had fun
absolutely, man. Yeah, this is fun. Who doesn't love talking about football?
Yeah, I know.
All right, brother. Perfect. Well, I appreciate it, man.
Thanks, man. Be well.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right.